All right, my name is Kate with Scholarly Marketing. Again, going over email campaigns today with you all. This video will be recorded and you can access that and all of our past videos on our Scott Leroy Marketing YouTube channel. We generally have those videos and tip videos uploaded daily. So if you are looking for today's class, you should be able to find that usually by end of day, but definitely by tomorrow. You can also, again, access any of our past classes, tip videos, etc. from this site. If you're searching for something specific, let's say campaigns, like today's class, we just recommend checking out those months of when it was uploaded. Unfortunately, it doesn't let us decide how those are displayed. So you may want to look through and make sure you find the most recent so that you can check that one out. So like 3 weeks ago would probably be the most recent one that we've put out. So just pay attention to those dates as you're looking through videos. Again, tip videos posted almost daily on all of the new content or little things that we know you guys like to see. If you have any requests, you can always email us. I'm going to drop our email in the chat. This is our support email, which can also be emailed for any questions you're running into, any trouble you're finding, or if you just need some guidance on where to go for something, you can email us at support@scottleroymarketing.com. We would be super happy to assist you with whatever you need. I will also drop this YouTube channel in the chat just in case you guys need it. And we will go ahead and jump in from there. So again, for today, we are going to be covering email campaigns. So of course, the first thing that we want to do is jump into command. So command is at agent.kw.com. I'll drop that in the chat as well. And once you're in there, you just want to make sure you log in with your username and password. Keep in mind the username is not case sensitive. However, the password is. We generally recommend if you're running into any issues signing in, use that little eyeball. Even a space before or after the password will cause it to error. So just make sure if you copy and paste, you don't have any of that. And then we'll go ahead and sign in. All right, so we are covering campaigns. However, the very first place that we want to start once we log into command, before we jump into our campaigns, is going to actually be our marketing profile. So to access our marketing profile, we're going to go up to the top right where our name is displayed and hit that little drop down next to it. And once you've clicked that, you want to head over to settings. Oh, we might need to go into, oh, there we go. Now that we're in settings, you want to go to connect settings and marketing profile. Now, the reason that we want to start with a marketing profile for email campaigns specifically, some of those email designs will automatically pull in information from your marketing profile to be used in your marketing. So you want to make sure that your marketing profile is 100%. And we'll just go through this. So first of all, you want to make sure it's turned on with the little toggle on and off button up here in the top right. Then once that's on, you do want to make sure everything is up to date. Now, the most important is going to be anything with a red asterisk. However, there is additional information pulled from the marketing profile that you're going to want to make sure is included. Your headshot, the recommended size is 360 by 360. If you're not using that exact size, it may distort your image or make it look in a way that you don't want it to look. So we would recommend resizing that. If you have any trouble, you can always email us your photo and ask us to resize it. We're more than happy to do that for you. Next is the team logo. Now, if you're not on a team, you may be asking why you'd want an image there. This logo is automatically pulled into some of the email campaign marketing. So you want to make sure, even if you're not on a team, you have something there. And I'll show you where that's at once we're in the actual email campaign. But if you're not on a team, we generally recommend just throwing in a standard KW logo. And I can show you where you can find those as well as your Market Center specific logo. We'll get to that in just a minute. Other information, obviously your name, license information, This one can error out if you don't have that filled in. So if you ever see that, you may be missing your license information from your marketing profile. Job title, slogan, credentials. If you have any military affiliations, you can select that here, even if it's a family member or spouse. Your bio, that is required, so you will want to fill that out. Phone numbers you can include, your email, that will also error if you don't have it. And then you, of course, want to have your website entered. This can also cause an error if you don't have that plugged in. You won't want to use www before any KW websites, and you do want to make sure you have that full URL to make sure that that's working. So we just recommend grabbing that from your browser so that you make sure it is the full URL. Next is your market center information. This is required as well. Again, this information will pull to your email campaign designs. So we will want to make sure you have a logo and any of the market center brokerage information. If you're not sure about your market center logo, I'll show you where to find those. Now it does say recommended size. However, the logo does not have to be the 360 by 360. It does allow for that to readjust and it won't look distorted on any of the marketing. It is just the profile photo. So to show you where to find your market center specific logo, we're going to open a new tab and I'm actually going to go to kwconnect.com. Now, since I'm logged in on command, it should already have me logged in. We're going to then head over to resources and go to marketing. Now, I just want to point out there is a connect within command. That is completely different from KW Connect. At some point, they may fully integrate KW Connect, but for right now, you cannot find this information by going to connect here. So once we're under resources and marketing, you'll notice our very first option is the logos and branding. So for that, we will go ahead and click on that. We'll scroll down. When you get to this section here, it's going to ask you to insert your market center number or name. You can do either to find the market center that you're looking for. You'll also notice scrolling a little bit further down, you're going to find the generic Keller Williams logos. So for example, the one in my profile is right here. You can use those, again, if you're not on a team, to plug in an image there. For the logos though, if we want to find one, I'm just going to do a random number. So we're going to check out 55. We'll do West Fort Worth. Once you find the market center you're looking for, you can hit preview, make sure that is the correct logo, and then you can go ahead and hit download. Now, once that has downloaded to our computer, I will show you what that looks like. So we're going to click off that. 1 second here. I'm just extracting, unzipping, whatever you want to call it, the folder. Now that I've done that, I have an entire folder of logos. Now the primary ones we're going to take a look at is the black and white and the CMYK. If we click on the black and white, you'll notice that we have all of the different variations of that logo. So we have the one with the background as well as the transparent. It's gray and black. You also have all white, white and gray. So you have a bunch of different variations that can be used. We go back again, we can also check out the CMYK. Now these are going to be your colored options. So you'll have, again, with the white background and transparent, and then white and red and gray and red. Now, if you have a market center that doesn't have all of these variations, there are some that don't have all of them, but most of them do have all of the different options. So you can go ahead and use those for your logo in your marketing profile. You just do upload and insert that there. Then we have compliance. If you do have any compliance that you need to include, you'll want to do that here. We do recommend checking with your broker in charge to make sure that you are in compliance there. And then any social media you might want to include, and then Google Analytics. Now, once you're done and you've updated everything here, you do want to hit save. Now, for those of you joining us late, we're just going over the marketing profile. Again, super important because some of this information will pull into your email designs. So we just want to touch this first, make sure it's good to go. And then once we're done with that, we can head straight into designs. So if you're not familiar, designs is the little box with a paintbrush. And if you also want to open that, you can see all of the different applets here by clicking the red and white KW. Now, first, we're going to create our design, and then I'm going to show you how to apply it to an email campaign. So to get started, we're going to hit create a design up here in the top right. And for today's class, we are going to use email. Now, if you want additional information on the other three, you can check out our YouTube for training videos on those. We do cover those as well. We just won't be today. So we're going to go ahead and hit email and next. While that's loading, I'm just going to take a look at the questions in the chat. For your website, if you have the new upgraded website, currently logos are not transferring over, but the websites are new, so we're hopeful that will change soon. So you may have a new website. If you don't, you can email us and we can take a look. For the recording, we are already recording, and you can find our recording on our YouTube channel within 24 hours of the class. All right, moving right along. Now we are in the template library. So you will have a bunch of different templates that you guys can utilize, or you can start completely from scratch. So if we hit this load more, you're going to notice there's a total of 73 different logos or templates that you guys can utilize for various different things. Happy birthday emails, home anniversary. They have some holiday ones that you can send out, from Thanksgiving to Valentine's Day, the classic email. So first, we're going to take a look at creating a design from scratch. And then we'll take a look at a template if we have time, which we should. So first things first is we are going to do create a new template. Now that we're in our email template, we can go ahead and name this. I'm just going to name it today's class so that I know, and enter. You'll notice that there's some different icons up here. One is for desktop, tablet, and mobile. That's just going to show you the different ways it's going to look on those devices. Over here, we have view components. We have preview, undo, and redo. We also have options up here to preview, send a test, or download. And then, of course, save and exit. So this is our email that we're building over here to the left. I always like to start with a legal header and a legal footer. So in order to drag those into our design, we're simply going to click and then drag and drop. As I'm doing that, you'll notice there's a green line. That's just telling me where it's going to put that specific piece of content. Now you'll notice that these images look broken. It looks like that I need to edit them. They're not filling in the information. This is the information that pulls from that marketing profile that we just covered. So in order to take a look at that and make sure it's working, we can hit the little eyeball. And you'll notice when we do that, it does show us that the information is pulling correctly from our marketing profile. Next, I like I said, pull in that legal footer. Again, that green line is going to tell me where it's going to drop it. So I do want that to be below. Again, looks a little bit broken. Click that preview. This is where that team logo comes into play. So if you don't have anything here, it is going to send out and look broken. There is no way to remove that currently or edit that information. So it does populate your office address twice. Unfortunately, right now, there is no workaround for that. So just keep that in mind when you're looking at these. It is going to display twice, and you can't remove that logo. Moving right along, the next thing we're going to take a look at is just including text. So again, we're going to drag and drop that over. And then once that's here, it says insert your text. So we can click on that, and it's going to give us the pencil or the trash can. So in order to edit that, we're going to hit the little pen and it's going to allow us to start editing that text. Oops. So you'll notice that we have our fonts here, we have our size. This is called a merge field. So this will allow you to plug in names and other information without you having to type it. It will be contact specific as well as, Market Center specific. So you'll notice at the top there's agent information. Move down, you have Market Center, KWLS, so pulling listing information. Then you have contact information. So we'll go ahead and pull those in, but I'm going to continue on first. You can also change if it's bold, italic, underlined. You can change the font color. So we'll do red for today. You can change how it is on the page where it's left centered, right. And then I forget what this one is called. If you need bullets or any of the other information, or if you need to insert a link, you can do that here. Oops. We're going to go ahead and use the merge field. Now you will notice if you try to type this exact thing, you may get an error when you're sending that out. So we do just recommend to use the drop down in order to use that. So when you pull that in, it's going to say contact first name. You will want to say, put a space. I'm just going to say, actually, I'm going to put monthly newsletter. And we're just going to be creating this today just to go over all of the various different things. I'm not going to make a pretty email. I just want to make sure that we cover all of the different pieces of creating this. So now that I have my text there, I'm going to center it. I'm going to increase the size, change my text. Now, once I'm done and I have everything here, the most important thing is to hit this done. So you'll notice that it's still saying insert text here. If I just hit cancel, it's not going to save this. In this specific area, done is your save button. So if I hit done, it's going to then show my information over here. One way that we like to check that the contact merge field is working, if you hit preview, and this can only be done in designs, so keep that in mind. Once I hit preview, I can then search for a contact and just plug that in. And you'll notice that it is working. It's putting that name there instead. If you're doing this from the campaigns piece, you won't see that. So you do want to check it here within the actual design that we're creating. Moving right along, I'm just going to check these questions. In the header, you can't customize this header, but you could insert your own image as a header. You just cannot edit or alter this one in any way. We will come back to the logo at the end if we have time. I just want to make sure we cover all of the content for today's class first. Moving to our next category, we're going to go ahead and pull over an image. So you'll notice when I pull over the image, it is showing images that I've already used in other email campaigns previously. I can also pull in listing images. If I have a specific listing I'm wanting to pull, I can use that. We do recommend using the MLS number. Keep in mind when you're using this, it is pulling from every MLS. So in order to make sure you're saving time and pulling yours, it is easier to just use that MLS number to search. You can also add your own images. So as you can see, there's no way to pull in maybe a social graphic that you created from campaigns directly. However, if you're going to want to pull in a design from your social graphics, say you created something that you want to use, I'm going to show you guys really quickly how to do that. I think this is no, that's a print. Let's just pull social. Apply. I'm just going to pull in this winter one so that we can take a look at how to drag that in. So again, I can't directly pull in that social design into my email. However, I can download this image and use it in my email campaign design. So we run into a lot of questions when they're trying to create the email campaign itself under this category. If you're trying to create that email campaign and it's not letting you find your design, and I'll show you this when we get to it. If it's not letting you find your design, most likely you created your design as a social piece or a print piece. And unfortunately, in order to send it as an email, it does have to be in the email design template. So to pull this in, we just simply download it as a JPEG or PNG. I'm actually just going to go with the JPEG. And then once it's downloaded to my computer, I can easily pull that into here. So to add that, I'm going to hit add image, and then I can drag or drop or browse. So it's right here. It's too big. That's okay. I just wanted to show you guys how to do it. Then it would allow me to add that image here, and I could pull it in that way. So we'll go ahead and grab one of these just to pull in. So that is our image that we're pulling into our design. Now you can adjust that by dragging to make it smaller or larger, as big as you can. You'll notice it does get to a point where it won't go any wider. You can also hit the edit button and make adjustments here. So you can replace it. You can add text. If you want to link it, so if they click on that picture, it links them directly to a web address, you can do that. So we're just going to grab this one, plug it in. I can change the size, the border, the position, etc., and then hit that done, and it will make those changes. Now I can't see that that link is working, so we do recommend sending a test so that you can make sure that's working. And I'll show you guys how to do that as well as we move along. One other thing that I like to point out here, we're going to add another text box so I can show you guys this. And I'm just going to grab a bunch of text from here. One question we do get often is, what is this inline text? So I'm going to show you guys what that looks like. So I'm going to hit done. It's going to insert all of that text. Now you'll notice that it keeps going the text past the image. If I click on that and hit edit and use inline text, of course it's not going to work today. It should cut that off to where it the text stops where the photo works. I'm not sure why it's not doing it, but I may be able to show you another example of that as we move along. But it should ultimately cut off that text. The text will stop where the image is, and it will be perfectly in line with the photo. That is what that button does. Again, sometimes technology doesn't work though. Moving on to our next one though is the button option. So we'll drag that and drop. Now the button just allows you to insert a button for them to click on. You can change what it says, click here for more. You can link that if you want them to go to a landing page or a specific web address where you're capturing information. You can do that. Again, we'll just use this one here and plug that in. You can change the size, the height, the font that's displayed, how it is positioned again, the background color. And if you want them to be square edges or rounded, that is totally up to you. And then if we hit done, you'll see that it has changed that for me. I could make it longer so that it hopefully puts everything on one line. There we go. And then when they're in this email, they can click on that and it will take them to wherever I hyperlinked that to take them to. The next thing we have after button is the listing block. So I will just drag that in. Now this will allow you to add in any listings that you might want to advertise in your email. Say you send a monthly one of here's our listings, whatever you want to do. Again, you'll click on it and hit the edit. And this will allow you to select a listing. Again, to pull in that information easily. And I need to change it because I put MLS, but I'm just going to search address. So we will change this. And then we can just grab whichever one is our listing that we're wanting to pull in. I'm just going to grab the top one. And it's going to allow me to plug in all of that information. Now it should pull all of that from the MLS, but we just like to make sure. Let's say you created a landing page for this specific property. You can also use the landing page there to pull them to that website specifically. Once I hit done, it's going to load that information. Oops. Apparently was missing a piece of information. And I can add as many of those as I want. So if I have 2, 5, 10 listings, I can include all of them if I want to. And just plug in their info. Next thing that we have is the event block. So we'll just drag that and drop that again. Let's say that we have a client event coming up. Valentine's Day is our next holiday. Say it's a sip and paint or something like that, whatever you want it to be, a client appreciation event. You can go ahead and fill in those details and direct them to a Google form or Eventbrite to register, however you'd like to capture that information. But it is kind of the same. You hit the edit on each individual box within the box. So you'll notice that I have a large box around all of the information that I can hit delete. But I do need to edit the information individually here. I'm just going to hit fall giveaway. If I have a link again, I can insert that, hit done. I need to change my date, so we'll do Feb 3rd, 2024. Ooh. Yeah. The event title. Since I used a fall giveaway, we'll just go ahead with that, even though fall is over. And then any other information that you might want to include, you can go ahead and do that here. Checking our questions in the chat. Can you copy and paste text from a Word doc? It should allow you to copy and paste. I just copied and pasted from the website, so it should allow you to do that as well. It also has a button for the event, again, to register if you have something you need to have them register for. You can do that. It is the same as this button here. It's just within the event window. Once I'm all done though, hit done. Again, done is your save right there. Our next thing is a video. If you want to include a video into your email, keep in mind with the video, it does have to be a public video. So you can't record a video and then upload it to your computer and upload it to this. It would have to be uploaded to somewhere public like YouTube or something in order for you to add that. So we'll go ahead and just grab a quick video here. I'm going to pause. That's a good place to pause. Once I have that, I can click on my video and hit edit, and I can go ahead and insert that URL. Now, again, it just has to be a public video, and I do need a URL to include that. Once I have that, I can include an image. We'll just do this one. And then when I hit done, it's going to save that. Now, you won't see the video. You can see the little play button. Let's try this. Last time it did not work for me. Usually if you come here into the preview and you hover over the video, it will show you the URL in the bottom left corner. But this is, again, one of the reasons we always do a test email. It allows us to make sure everything is working. I do not think the video from Facebook or Instagram will work. Just because most of those are private and they need a login. So you may be best to just upload to YouTube and use it that way. Once our video is there, we're all done with that. The last piece of an email that we can include here is the market snap. So this is populated through Nextdoor, so it should automatically include that information. I'm going to go ahead and grab the SLM zip code and plug that in here. And then it will allow me to select my neighborhood that I would like to show. So we're just gonna grab one. And when we hit done, it will populate that information. Now, again, you can't edit the information here. So if you come up with one that is not showing up the way you want it to, we would just recommend finding a different one to include. You'll see that one's still saying NA. I picked a bad zip code here. There we go. So it's now pulling that information and showing all of that. Now I can edit what it is called. So you can see it says neighborhood trends. If I want to change that to Lake Davis, Greenwood, I can definitely change that. However, the other information I cannot edit. So that is our market snap. Now I can go ahead and take a look at that, preview it, make sure it's exactly how I want it to be before I send it out. Now, obviously, mine is just a bunch of information thrown in. I would encourage you to make sure your email campaign has a purpose, and that you're sending it for, you know, what you're trying to accomplish. But for today's class, that is what we're creating. And now we're going to take a look at including that into an email campaign so that we can send it out to our database. Again, I do encourage you to send a test email. I'm just going to plug in my email so that I can show you what that looks like when it comes across. My email I have here. So that will send. Sometimes it will take a few minutes for it to send through. One last thing I like to mention that you can't see here, every email that comes from command has the unsubscribe option. Now, it will not display here or in your test email, but it will display when the actual email goes out. And I may have one to be able to show you guys what that looks like, but it is there. Now that we're done though, and we've sent our test email, we can go ahead and hit save. And we can actually go ahead and X out. It's going to ask us to save again. That's perfectly fine. We're going to then head over to campaigns. Let me check my email here that I have to see if it has gone through just yet. And it looks like it did. So when that comes over as a test, here's our test email. Now you'll notice this is sending as a test, so it's not registering the contact's first name because I simply just entered an email. I did not include a contact first name. It doesn't let you. So the only way to check that is how I showed you before. And then you can scroll down. We can make sure our links work. As you can see, it's taking me to that video. Same for our button here. We can check those links, make sure everything is working. I think we did one here too for the photo. So everything's working perfectly. Like I said, you cannot see the unsubscribe. So let me see really quickly if I can find that to show you guys what that looks like. I'm sure I have one somewhere. Okay, so it looks very similar to this class, but you'll notice as I'm scrolling down through my email, this has the to unsubscribe, please click here. So that is included on every email that goes out from command. We do get questions on this email as well. Your command email will not display as your KW or your command mail. They are always going to display as this agent number email. Unfortunately, there's no way to edit that. So if you see that, that is why. Let me take a look at these questions real fast before we jump into the actual email campaign. Public meaning it is out there for the public to find. So that's why we recommend YouTube. Anyone can go on YouTube. They don't have to be signed in. They don't have to have an account. They can access those videos without anything. So that's why we say YouTube is just the easiest way to make sure your video will work. I hope that helps. I don't have exact like specifications as to what they want for that, but we do know that the YouTube works perfect. Moving on to actually creating our email campaign. The first thing that we recommend is creating your email list. So in order to send a campaign, you have to have an email list. In order to access that, you'll go to campaigns and then emails. Now, once you're in emails, up here in the top right, well, I guess middle right, there's an email list button. When you click that, you can create a list. You can edit a list by clicking the pencil or delete. If you have a list that you've created by tags, I'm going to go ahead and delete these so I can create a new one real quick. We'll go ahead and do create. I'm going to say cartoons again. 111. I like to date mine so that I know the last time I edited it. That is just a simple trick for me. And I'll tell you why that is important. I'm going to find my cartoons tag. If I'm pulling in a group of people based on a tag, that list is not going to update if I add a new person to my database and I don't add that tag, I don't add them to the list. So if they have that tag and I've recently added them, I have to manually edit my email list. So that is why that date becomes important to me. I want to know the last time I edited it so that anyone I've added since then, I know to go grab. Once I found my tag that I want to use, it's going to show them all here. If there's more than what is displayed, it'll have a load more at the bottom. I would load everyone and then hit the select all and confirm. And that's going to create your email list. Now, again, if I add somebody new with that tag to my contacts, it's not going to automatically update this. I have to go edit it. So that's the reason that I date it. But you could just start over every time like I did. Once I have my email list, though, I can go ahead and get started. One last thing before we go back, though, I want to point out there are two separate lists. If you are a MailChimp user, which I don't play around with a whole lot, there are separate lists for you to create. So keep that in mind, which one you're using when doing this. Back to emails though, this dashboard will show you how many you've sent the last 30 days, recipients, how many opens you've had, clicks. Every email or every command mail gets 5,000 included with their command every month. If you need more than 5,000, you can always upgrade your account here or in the marketplace. You can also do that from your settings in command. Moving along though, we have where you can search for emails, see what has been mailed, scheduled, archived, drafted, or all. You can check for the goal that you created the email for. Channels, again, if it's command mail or MailChimp, and then again, your email list. Over here, you have the overview. So that's the name of the campaign, the status, if it's been mailed, if it's processing or drafted. It can say processing for a while until it's sent all of those out. The date, again, how many sent, opens, clicks, and the goal. I can also duplicate or archive. One thing I like to take a look at here so you guys can see what that looks like on the other side. You can view the unsubscribed, the not sent, the not opened, clicked, etc. So it is going to give you details of everyone. If they've unsubscribed, it's going to tell you who has unsubscribed. That information will also show up in their contact timeline for you to access, but you'll be able to find details on all of that information in the actual email. Moving along, we're going to go ahead and create. So we're going to hit the create campaign. And for today, we are doing email. Now I do need to name it. So I'm just going to do SLM 11124. We do need to decide what our goal is. So what is the purpose of your email campaign? I'm going to stick with other. And then if you're using Command Mail or MailChimp, create, and then it's going to bring you into your email campaign. So you'll notice it has the name again. The goal is up here in the corner. I can change that. The account that I'm using, who I'm sending that to. So I'm going to use the cartoons. You can create it here. We just see a lot less errors if you create that first, which is why we go that route. Send from, and the reply to email. Then we have our subject. So I'm going to do January newsletter. And then we select our content. So this is where you'll be able to select the design that we created. Again, if you don't see your design showing up, it's most likely not an email template. It will allow you to preview everything. Again, we recommend creating the design first and then pulling in. It's just a lot less errors. Save and exit. And then you'll notice on the right, it is showing that email campaign. So I can view everything right there. I know that it's pulled in. From there, I can update it if I clicked the wrong one. I can also do the preview or send tests. Now again, preview, it will not allow me to view this here. That's why we do it in designs. And then I can either save it, schedule it, or send. So schedule, if I want to set it for a specific date and time, I can do that here. Time can be adjusted down here. Sorry, my Zoom thing is in the way. So I can change this here. Say we want to do it at 11. And then I can do apply and schedule. Now I'm not going to schedule this. I'm just going to go ahead and exit out of it, but that is how you would do it. I'm going to save draft. And then it would say scheduled, and I could view it under this one, but mine is going to stay in draft. So that is creating our email campaign. Let me just take another look at the chats. Yes, this webinar is recorded and can be found on our YouTube channel. I'll drop that in the chat one more time so that you guys have it. See the next question. How would you delete a scheduled campaign? In order to delete one that's scheduled, let's just take a look at this one. I do have the edit. So I'm going to schedule this out. Hi, schedule. It should give you the option to go ahead and cancel or reschedule from the right. Now, depending how recent you scheduled it and how soon it's supposed to go out, those may not be an option. So at some point, those do go away and it's kind of processing at that point. So I'm going to go ahead and cancel. And you'll see it's changed it to canceled. Someone asked how to go through. I'm going to come back to a couple of these just because I want to get through one more thing and then we will come back to those. Jennifer, we would recommend creating a smart plan for that. If you're wanting it to go out monthly, or just set up a newsletter that you edit every month and then schedule it. You could use the same template and just edit it each month. But we're going to go back to designs real quick because since we have time, I do want to show you guys how to use the templates that are already created real fast. So we're just going to take a look at Valentine's Day since that is the next holiday coming up. Now you'll notice that the information is slightly different. The header is different. The footer is going to appear different. So if you like those, I would recommend just editing the entire email for whatever purpose you're trying to use. If you like this better than this one, definitely just edit that for yourself because this one cannot be pulled in and this one cannot be pulled in. So if you like those, find a template that has it and make it your own. Real quick, I'll show you what those look like. So that one just pulls in this. So I added this at the top. You can go ahead and delete that. So that is just this at the top. So if you don't want the other information up there, you don't have to have it. Then it goes through, again, the stuff that was up there before. This is the other one. Again, you can't add this one. So if you like this one, find a template that has it. This one is where you may, if you don't have your license information or your website, you may get an error when you're trying to use that. If those are not in your marketing profile, this will error out when you're trying to send it. So just make sure those are updated. Website is there. However, I can't see the physical website. It just says website and you can click it. I'll show you what I mean. If I click on this box and hit edit, you'll notice that this is linked. So it's already linking to my agent website from my marketing profile. And it's just saying website. So if I want to edit that and change it, I can change the link. You could also just put your website here if you want to. Excuse me, but it is pulling that from the agent marketing profile. So you can, like I said, edit this if you want to, and delete those and put it in yourself. It's just easier to not have to do that. Same for the app link. It's going to pull that from your marketing profile as well, as long as you have it in there. But if you don't, you can add it. Agent legal footer, I think that might be, oh, so it's not putting anything because I don't have a legal footer in my marketing profile. It's not pulling that in. So that would be if you have one there, it will pull that in. That's just for compliance reasons. But yeah, then we can edit this how we want to. So if I want to change this text or edit it, if I want to add images, I can definitely do that. You'll notice this template is a little different. So where the boxes go is going to be a little bit different as well. But it's still very similar to what we were doing. That's it. Again, I just wanted to show you guys one of the pre-made templates. There are a bunch of them, so you can check them all out and find your favorites so that you can then start utilizing those. There are some that have, you know, multiple photos that you can pull into, open house, etc. So everything. I'm going to stop the recording and answer any additional questions. So if you don't have any questions and you're all set, thank you so much for joining our class today. Again, you can find this recording on our YouTube, and hopefully we'll see you again next time. If you have questions though, hang around, we'll cover those now.